Hi everyone, Ken Stewart at Hearcare Audiology. Let's talk a little bit about hearing aid technologies, how they vary, and why do the cost of hearing aids vary so much, and why is it so difficult to do research and homework in terms of what's the best hearing aid for me and what should I pay for a hearing device. So let's just talk a little bit about that. On a previous video, I mentioned that there's 6 major brands of hearing aids in the world. About every year or two, each of these 6 brands comes out with their latest, greatest technology. They advertise it as their premium level hearing technology. And they're going to market their new features to try to compete against their 5 competitors. So they come out with their latest, greatest model, and we'll call that their premium level hearing device. And then what they do in very short time is they release cheaper versions of it. So they spend all this money and all this time with their auditory engineers making a great hearing device. And then they literally take features away and market it as a cheaper version of it. So the only reason you wouldn't want this premium technology, money's the only reason you wouldn't want this technology, because any other option is really a takeaway. So almost all the brands do it. They create almost like 4 different levels of technology. So based on this example, they make their premium level hearing aid, and then they'll take some features away and they'll produce what we call an advanced level technology, and then they'll take some features away and they'll call it what we call a mid-level technology, and then more of an entry-level technology. So what you're paying for is features up and down the road. But again, you could argue that anything less than the premium level hearing aid that they produced is kind of a de-featured version of what they have. So one manufacturer, for example, calls it their 90 series, their 70 series, their 50 series, and their 30 series. Keeping in mind, again, it was all based on that 90 series product. So when we talk with patients, we really encourage high-end technology. We think it works so much better, and again, we're just not such big fans of taking away. And I think if you're paying less money, you're paying for less technology, and or you're paying for less service, which you could argue is the most important thing with hearing technology is the expertise of the provider who's fitting it and making sure they're following best practices. So sometimes when you can get cheaper hearing aids, you take that whole component out, and it really doesn't matter how great the hearing aid technology is. If they're not fit properly with best practices and the required measurements, it's not going to work well at all.